Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about protecting our energy. I think that this is just something that um, so many of us don't do. I know that that may sound like stereotypical, but just thinking about how many people I've come across in life over the last 5 years, and then personally myself, and just seeing like the difficulty that people have with protecting their energy and keeping it at a good vibrating level, like at a high level, right? Um, Basically, like when they talk about keeping your cup full or overfilled, most people run on an empty cup. And I picture my energy as what is inside that cup and what is being filled up and overpouring, right? And I want my energy to overflow and just run over in that cup, right? But a lot of people, including myself, don't do that all the time. And so I have experienced this today. I'm very intentional with keeping that cup full and resting when it's not and replenishing it. I suffered severe burnout last year, and oh my goodness, I could definitely tell that my cup was dry. And so, how do you fill your cup? Most people think that it's by like doing affirmations or journaling or Bible study or your words and your thoughts. But what you need to understand is it's actually a combination of all of those things and more. Um, Rest is probably the best way to fill your cup, and most people don't rest. Let's be honest, they grind. They go, 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 and there's no downtime to just replenish their soul, to rest, to allow your body, your mind, and your spirit to absorb what you've put into it and grow from the knowledge that you've given it. And you're so worried about taking another course or getting another client or showing up to a meeting or a training or like getting on all these different trainings, paying for all these different courses, learn, 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 be taught, be taught, be taught, but you're not actually doing what you need to do to apply it to the next phase of your life, right? I was like that. I would take all the courses in the world, and I felt like my energy was just dropping lower and lower and lower and lower because I wasn't giving myself and my body the rest it needed when it needed it. I was grinding, 20-hour days and sleeping for, 4 or 5 hours and then get back up and do it all over again. And I worked a lot on social media, especially during the pandemic, that I literally felt like I was always on my device. I was always distracted, and my family wasn't getting the time that they needed with me. I wasn't getting the rest and the downtime that I needed for even my own self, let alone for them. And it just became this vicious cycle. And what changed was I hired a life coach last year. Well, I met her last year in the summer. And then I started taking her workshops. And then by the new year, I hired her this year. And so this year has just been a big transformation for me on my mindset and how I do things because I went from being somebody who was a workaholic, who didn't give myself time to reset and recharge my batteries. And so I was constantly drained and exhausted, but I also had no boundaries. So my business partners and everybody around in my circle took advantage of me in a lot of different ways. And most of it was unintentional. I know that now because I didn't set any healthy boundaries. They didn't have anything to work with. So I don't blame anyone. It was just circumstantial and it was a lesson that I learned. And I hope they learned the lesson too. And if not, maybe this will be something they'll hear and they'll find that and gain some understanding in it. Um, but I don't fault anyone because I was taught that behavior from a very, very young age. It was something that was placed upon me because I watched the people in my life be grinders and grind, 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 grind. And always go, 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 not a lot of rest time until they were much older. And so for me, like my own mom, she's 81. She can't sit still. She can't sit still. She's got to constantly be going to do something. She's got to constantly be doing something or talking to somebody or watching a show. Like she'll get quiet time, but it's very minimal for her. It's a lot for her to try to sit down and just have quiet time. But she is doing it more as she gets older, but she's still very much active, way more active some days than I am. Like the lady gets up and goes. Um, and so like I think about that and there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. Like it's good to be active, but there's a fine line when you need to recharge your batteries or reset your mindset or realign your energy because I don't know if you know how to even realign your energy, but the best way to reset is to take a nap or to go to sleep. So if you're having a rough day or things aren't going your way, meditate for 15 minutes if you can't take a nap, or 5 minutes if you can't take a nap. Clear your headspace. Only focus on like the fan in the room or the heater in the room and like tone everything else out, like tune it out and just focus on that one sound. They also have like YouTube has really great videos that you can find on, I don't know if Spotify does, like several platforms have good videos these days of short meditations that you can do. Um, and so there's ways for you to quiet your mind if you can't take a nap or you can't go to sleep, right? And so what I realize is there's some days like rest is good and I'm not a napper during the day, but if I'm having a rough day or my energy is drained, I'm resting. And so I will lay in my bed quietly with my earbuds in and turn on a meditation and lay there and just let that relax me, even if I don't fall asleep. It's just that quieting the mind and letting the mind not think about a million things that are going on or that are going wrong, right? Instead, it's changing my thought process. And so think about that when you are struggling and you're feeling like you're tired or you're exhausted or you're burnout or things aren't going your way or everything, like you're hitting every red light today and you're like, why am I hitting all these red lights? And you're getting frustrated because it's making you late and yada, 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 yada. Start flipping the script on what it is you're thinking and saying. It has to start somewhere. And sleeping it off and resting isn't going to change it. It's going to be your thought pattern and your words that you're saying and your feelings and emotions toward it, like your perspective. And so it has to begin somewhere. So you need to remember that negative thoughts will attract more negative energy. And so if you want the good stuff, instead of worrying about those red lights, start focusing on all the green lights you're going to get. Like, I am so grateful for all of these green lights I'm getting. I am so, so thankful that I'm showing up where I need to be on time. I am so grateful that this drive is so smooth and safe and it's just so beautiful out. Like look around you and see what, where the gratitude is. And in the contrast, when things aren't going the way you want them to go, when you're having all those objections, all those obstacles, this is where you're going to have to find the beauty in the situation. And a lot of people want to find the problem. They don't want to find the solution or the beautiful part of it, the lesson, right? There's always a lesson and it becomes a blessing. But you have to look for it sometimes when you're going through those rougher moments. And so you have to remind yourself that you can do things easily, effortlessly, and joyfully. Joy is a natural state that we all were created in. We were created in joy, we were created in love. Those are two natural states. Those came by us naturally. All the other emotions and feelings were created by man. Those came as we grew and something happened, right? But joy is our natural state. So when you're finding yourself not in the natural state of joy or love, unconditional love with no strings attached, then you need to self-reflect and sit down and start writing gratitude 10 things you're grateful for. Make a list of 10 things that you're so grateful for. Running water, electricity, food on the table. Like, what are things you're grateful for? Your family. Think about, if you can't put it on your gratitude list, if it were to go away tomorrow, how would it make you feel? Would you be saddened by that, or would you be happy by that? See, like, some things we're meant to let go, or not meant to hold on to everything and everyone. But there are certain things that, like, my loved ones, my family, that I hold near and dear to my heart, I am so grateful for them every single day. And I'm grateful that we get to do life together. I'm grateful we get to grow together. I'm grateful we get to laugh together and love other people together and serve other people and help other people together. Like, we get to just be a good hearted person. And I'm so grateful for these people in my life, right? And so, like, what is it that you're grateful for? What is it that you want to change in your life? Be honest with yourself. What is not working for you that's draining your battery, that you need to say no to, that you've been so afraid to say no to? Because you're afraid you'll offend somebody. You'll be afraid that other people will judge you. You're afraid of what their opinions are, or maybe deep down you really want to do it, but you're just burnt out. Like, you just don't have the energy right now to just maintain it. Like, be honest with yourself. You can always say no to something and come back to it later. You can always say no to something and never go back to it again. Like, that's the beauty of free will, is we get that choice. We're allowed to say no to things, though. And I think that was the biggest thing, that I said yes to so many things, and I said yes to so many things, that it drained me because I didn't leave any room for myself to just rest. I didn't leave any room for myself to just be. I didn't leave enough room for my family to spend quality time together without, other people, disrupting that time together. Um, I didn't leave any room for, nature, to get outside, to just enjoy quality time without a camera in my hand, without taking content, but just enjoying the moment. Right. And these were things that we need to be doing. And these are things that are important. We need to go back to the basics, where we need to slow down to speed up, and saying no to things is completely okay. You're allowed to. And this is your permission if you need it. Like, you don't need permission, but if you need it, here it is. You are allowed to. And that is part of keeping your cup full. That is part of keeping it overflowing, is to have those healthy boundaries and to decide, does this align with where I'm taking myself, my future version, my best version of myself, my type C goal, my biggest goal that's crazy and audacious, that I have this burning desire for? Is this aligned? Does it match that goal? Like, is it going toward that goal or away from it? Is it taking me to it, or away from it? That's a good question to ask yourself. If you don't have a big crazy goal, you better get one. You don't need a basic goal. People think that you need a basic goal that you've already done before, something you could do before. You don't need that. You need something that's going to drive you, that's going to motivate you, that you really, really would love to have, but it scares the crap out of you. And you need to work toward that goal. It's going to take levels of different goals to get to that goal, obviously, right? But imagine that big giant goal, that I have this version of myself and she's this future version. I'm not very far from her. And she makes a certain income every month, and she serves and does so many incredible things. And she creates it, she vibrates at a completely higher level. She doesn't worry about what other people think. She's so grateful and humbled by every experience she gets to have. And everything is good and everything is for her. And she's so fit and she's healthy. And she, she takes such good care of her mind, body, and spirit. And she teaches other people how to do the same thing. And she just absolutely has fallen in love with who she is every single day. And I want to take good care of her today, right now, as if I'm already her and I've already obtained that goal. I'm going to behave like her today. And that carries me to that next level, because every time I'm thinking about, what would she do? The other day, it was yesterday, I had so much stuff going on behind the scenes, that I was just like, what would she do? She wouldn't be stressing and worrying about this right now. She would just take care of it. She wouldn't even worry. She would just take care of it. And so I immediately stopped worrying about it. And I honed in on how she would feel. And I was like, this is already taken care of. It's going to be amazing. And then I realized that in the contrast, that the fears I had were an old habit, a paradigm that I needed to overcome. And I needed to decide, would I carry this professional, like in the situation I was in, would I continue to see professionally that person, or would I go find somebody that better suits my needs and that I better have better attraction with? The answer was a definite no. I wouldn't even tip the person. So if I can't even tip them and I don't even feel called to give them a tip after everything's said and done and they've done their service, why would I keep them as a regular service? Right. And so I had to acknowledge this. And I thought there's somebody better for me that is better for my future version of myself. And that was a game changer because once that shift happened, everything around me started shifting again. And everybody shifted, but I shifted inside because I realized this was something I needed to make a no decision on. I had to say no to it. My future self counted on me saying no to it. And so that was a very big eye opener. And so protect your energy. Your energy is so important. And what you're not protecting, you're wasting. And I'm going to say it just like that because I spent many years wasting my energy on things and people that didn't deserve my attention or my energy or my time. And I don't say that to be mean. I say that, or to sound cold, I say that to just be transparent. Reaction is so easy when your energy is not protected and your cup is not full. When you're drained, you react versus the responding method, where when you're responding because you've paused, you've thought it through for a moment, and you've decided to respond, and you have a solution and not a problem that you're addressing. You're addressing it from a solution oriented stand versus from I have a problem and this bothers me stand. And so it becomes a positive when you're responding versus the reaction can cause more reaction, which can cause conflict. And so it's just so important that we understand how important it is for us to do self-care, how important it is for us to rest, how important it is for us to do things that bring us joy, that bring us excitement, that make us bring out the kid inside of us. We should be having fun with our goals. We should be having fun with our life. Life is not meant to be serious. It's not meant to be like where we're constantly like stiff-necked and just so serious and dry personality. We are meant to have a blast with this life. We get one. Why aren't you making it your best? Why aren't you having as much fun as you can? Why aren't you laughing as often as you can? Complaining gets you nowhere. It gets you into more complaining, and then it keeps you complacent. You don't grow when you complain. You stay stagnant. And so cut out the no stinking thinking, cut out the criticism, cut out the negative Nancy stuff, and start moving yourself into a higher frequency. Start moving yourself into the version of yourself that you would love to become. If you want to become him or her, it's time to become him or her. Stop being afraid of what other people are going to think. They are not going to help you get where you want to go. I promise you, yes, they might support you, but deep down it's within. You're already equipped. Everything you need is inside of you. So if everything you need is inside within, it's already been created when you were created in the womb. Why would you need to worry about their opinions? Right? And so I hope this helps somebody. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.